Your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on Asset Television. Welcome to the news. I am Emmanuel Ejike. First, the headlines. Police suspends new vehicle coding system after outcry. Custom warns against consumption of imported chicken. Again, Spain rose in European football. Now, the news in full. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered an immediate suspension of the July 29 plan to commencement of the enforcement of the E-Central Motor Registry. The first Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumoyiwa Adejobi, said this in a statement on Monday in Abuja. Adejobi said the suspension was to give ample opportunity for mass enlightenment and education of the public on the process, benefits, and effectiveness of ECMR. The police spokesman said the IG had urged police officers to desist from requesting for ECMR certificates. According to him, officers found extorting or exploiting the public on the guise of not having ECMR or certificates will be sanctioned. Adejobi said the enforcement would be done by only dedicated officers from a date to be announced later. He said the ECMR was designed to address the challenges of vehicle-related crimes and protection of individual and corporate vehicle ownership. Adejobi said the registration will help to collate the data imputed into the system by vehicle owners and acting on such to flag the vehicles if reported stolen. The ECMR will provide a first-hand database to the force for curbing vehicular crimes, as dedicated officers can access real-time comprehensive data of every vehicle on their tablets. The ECMR will prevent multiple registration of vehicles and serve as a database to collate biometric and other data of vehicle owners and individuals. It will also add value to the national database and incident report portal generated from other ministries, departments and agencies towards general security, he said. According to him, contrary to news making the rounds and insinuations about the ECMR, the Nigerian police wishes to state categorically that the ECMR is not a revenue-generating platform. He said the platform was an initiative to digitalize policing for effectiveness and general safety of lives and property of the Nigeria's residents. The police spokesman, therefore, called for the understanding and support of all well-meaning Nigerians and residents to key into the ECMR system. As hardship bites harder, some Nigerian youths plan nationwide protests beginning from August 1st to 10th, 2024. The protest, which is currently gaining traction in the north and other parts of the country, is aimed at drawing the attention of governments at all levels to the plight of the citizens. Since the current administration took off in May 2023, when President Bola Tinubu announced the abolition of fuel subsidy, there has been an untoward hardship in the country. This has led to calls for reversal of some policies of the government believed to have bettered the hardship. Angry youths and women had on February 9, 2024 taken to the streets of Minna, Niger State capital, and Kano to protest the astronomical rise in prices of food and other essential commodities in the market. In a similar vein, some civil society groups, including the Take It Back movement, the Education Rights Campaign, the Coalition for Revolution, and the Socialist Workers' League, on June 12 protested against the surging cost of living, insecurity, and other challenges facing the nation. The protesters, who stormed the streets in some southwestern states, wielded placards that had inscriptions like "President Tinubu, let the poor breathe," "Payment of living wage to all Nigerian workers now," "End insecurity," "Nationalize the power sector," and "Reverse fee hikes now," among others. The protest is scheduled to take place in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). The Nigerian Customs Service Ogun Area 1 Command has warned the public against the consumption of smuggled frozen poultry products due to the health implications. The command's controller, James Ojo, gave the warning in an interview with newsmen. According to him, The World Health Organization Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Food, and the Agricultural Organizations of the United Nations described the consumption of smuggled frozen poultry products as having adverse effects on the health of the people. Ojo said, frozen poultry products smuggled into Nigeria from the Republic of Benin were preserved with chemicals and often lacked proper regulatory oversight, increasing the risk of harmful chemicals being used for preservation. Also, they may not meet the nutritional standards required for healthy consumption, and poor handling as well as preservation techniques can degrade the nutritional quality of the meat, thus leading to potential deficiencies when consumed regularly. The use of unknown or banned chemicals in preserving smuggled poultry can trigger allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. The controller listed some of these chemicals to include formaldehyde and other preservatives which could cause acute and chronic health issues like poisoning, cancer, and organ damages. Ojo admonished smugglers who were into such nefarious business to desist, as the customs will not relent in ensuring that the illicit goods banned by the federal government does not come into the country. Former Speaker, Kwara State House of Assembly, Professor Ali Ahmed, has advised President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to be cautious of potential retaliatory lawsuits from state governors against his Supreme Court verdict or victory on full local government autonomy. Ahmed, in a statement issued on Monday, also advised the president to be cautious of other hostile actions from those not happy with the outcome from the Supreme Court. He added that history will remember Tinubu kindly for his efforts in reforming the local government system. The former speaker also urged Tinubu to initiate and transmit a one-item emergency executive bill to the National Assembly to enable the INEC to conduct local government elections in the country. He said, such a bill must be treated in isolation and legislative works must be concluded within a few weeks. Ahmed said that the third schedule to the Constitution should be reviewed for the nation's electoral umpire to organize elections for local government areas. While commending the Supreme Court judgment on the local government financial autonomy, Ahmed also thanked President Tinubu and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi-San, for reigniting hope of a working Nigeria. He said, the historical judicial intervention is of inestimable value, comparing it to the legislative adoption of the principle of necessity in saving the soul of the country. Ahmed encouraged senior citizens to actively participate in politics and run for local government positions in their communities to bring much-needed governance closer to the people. Ahmed said, liberating the local government from the control of governors has been an enduring challenge, resisting numerous constitutional amendment exercises, presidential executive orders, and decisions of the Supreme Court. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Asset Television. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back from the break. The Federal Road Safety Corps has urged the Sokoto State Government to establish a functional database of commercial tricycle and motorcycle riders for improved security and sanity in the businesses. The FRSC Sector Commander Alhaji Meikanu made the call at an enlightenment exercise organized for the Riders Union members on Monday in Sokoto. Meikanu, who was represented by the Deputy Commander Operations, Mr. Aliu Meaj, said the activity was organized to sensitize the riders on safety guidelines, offenses, and sanctions. He emphasized that a functional database will assist in tackling security challenges, revenue generation, prompt response to victims of road traffic accidents, and other hospital services. The commander dwelt on route violations, speeding, dangerous driving, proper motorcycle and tricycle registration guidelines. Meikanu further appealed to the state government to include accident victims, especially commercial riders, in Zakat commission support services responding. The chairman of the union, Alhaji Shamsu Aliu, thanked Federal Road Safety Corps for organizing the exercise and promised to abide by the traffic rules and regulations. Director General of National Emergency Management Agency, Zubaida Umar, has urged Nigerians to ensure strict adherence to the country's building codes to avert frequent collapse and its associated disasters. Umar stated this when she visited the site of the St. Academy building collapse and some of the victims on admissions in the hospitals on Sunday in Jos, Plateau State. The Director General, who also paid a courtesy call on Governor Caleb Mutfwang, said the Friday morning school collapse, which claimed the lives of 22 students, with no fewer than 154 others sustaining injuries, was avoidable. The Director General said that she was impressed with the synergy between NEMA and the State Emergency Management Agency in the handling of the disaster. In his remarks, the governor described what happened on Friday as a test case for the state. He noted that when he came on board, SEMA was in comity and that people did not appreciate its importance, adding that, however, the organization had now proved to be valuable. Mutfwang also said that his administration would cascade emergency management to the local governments to ensure that council areas were up and running. The governor thanked NEMA for its nationalistic approach to disaster management, stressing that this was the kind of synergy expected from the federal government and states. U.S. President Joe Biden has urged Americans to reject political violence and recommit themselves to resolving their differences peacefully, saying the upcoming presidential election will be a time of testing in the aftermath of the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. In a primetime national address from the Oval Office, Biden said political passions can run high, but we must never descend into violence. The president said his party and the Republicans can compete forcefully over different policy visions, but must do it in a civil fashion. Biden spoke for 6 minutes in his third address to the nation since Saturday evening's attack by a shooter that left Trump with a bloodied ear, killed one rally-goer and seriously injured 2 others. His warning came hours after FBI Deputy Director Paul Abbott said agents have seen increasingly violent rhetoric online since the attack at the Trump rally.
We see something that said, take a look at what happened. Watch out. Wait.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back, take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero, sheltering his family from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our prayers. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, or God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency. My fellow Americans.
Since the shooting, the president and his team had been grappling with how calibrate the political path forward after the weekend attack targeting the very person Biden is trying to defeat in November's election. Republican presidential candidate former President Donald Trump reacts following an assassination attempt at a campaign event. In his first interview after the shooting incident that saw a bullet grazed through his ear.
You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Watch out.
Wait. You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Watch out.
Wait.
Calling the encounter with death is sure real experience, Trump said. The doctor at the hospital said he never saw anything like this. He called it a miracle. Trump said he would have been dead had he not turned his head to the right to read the chart on illegal immigrants, thereby dodging the bullet, which would otherwise have struck his forehead and cheek. He wanted to continue his speech, but the Secret Service agents insisted he leave the stage as they had to get him to a hospital. The Republican nominee also thanked the agents for doing a fantastic job, marveling at how they came flying in like they were linebackers. He said he thought the Secret Service personnel did a fantastic job taking down the shooter. They took him out with one shot right between the eyes. They did a fantastic job, Trump said. It's sure real for all of us. The suspect, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, was perched on the rooftop about 130 yards from the stage where the rally was being held. Now sports. Spain beat England 2-1 to lift its fourth European football title as England loses its second consecutive Euro finals. Spain is the king of European football for a record fourth time. For England, it is another agonizing near miss in the team's decades-long tale of underachievement. Completing a tournament, the team dominated from start to finish. Spain beat England 2-1 in the European Championship final on Sunday, with Mikel Oyarzabal, the unlikely match winner in the 86th minute. Oyarzabal, a backup striker who came on as a substitute for captain Alvaro Morata, slid in to poke home a left wing cross by Marc Cucurella, just when the game at Berlin's Olympia Stadium seemed destined for extra time. England, the birthplace of football, is still without a major title in the men's game since winning the 1966 World Cup, and its players watch on forlornly as Morata raised aloft the silver trophy to a backdrop of confetti and fireworks inside the stadium built for the 1936 Olympics. Spain won all 7 games at this European Championship, an unprecedented feat, and broke the record for goals scored in a single tournament. As for England, the men's team has now lost back-to-back Euro finals. It was defeated in a penalty shootout by Italy on home soil in the final in 2021, and this was another painful loss for a team that will have gone 6 decades without a major title by the next World Cup. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted thundery and rainy weather activities from Monday to Wednesday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook released on Sunday in Abuja forecast morning thunderstorms over parts of Taraba, Adamawa, Zamfara, Kebbi, Katsina, Kano, and Kaduna states. According to the outlook, thunderstorms are expected over parts of Taraba, Kaduna, Yobe, Katsina, Kano, Borno, Bauchi, and Jigawa states in later in the day. In the north-central region, rains are expected over parts of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), Niger, and Nasarawa states during the morning hours. Later in the day, thunderstorms and rains are anticipated over parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Kwara, Plateau, and Kogi states. Morning drizzle and rains are anticipated over parts of Lagos, Abia, Ebonyi, Ondo, Ogun, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River, while in the afternoon and evening hours, intermittent rains are anticipated over the entire southern region, it said. NIMET envisaged morning thunderstorms over Adamawa, Taraba, Kaduna, Gombe, Katsina, Kano, Bauchi, Yobe, Borno, and Jigawa on Tuesday. And that is the news. I am Emmanuel Ejike. Keep watching Asset Television for more interesting programs. Also like and follow all our social media handles.
Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television. Welcome to Asset Television.